Welcome to Fridays with Tab and Chance. I am Tabitha Brown, and this is my amazing husband.
I'm Chance. What's up?
Today we have special guests. I'm gonna let them introduce themselves real quick.
Hi, I'm Shawna. Nice to meet you.
I'm Lewie.
And who are y'all?
We're the Lewises.
We're the Lewises.
The Lewises.
We're a couple.
We're a couple.
We've been together a long time.
We're gonna get into that, but before we do that, bring the beat in.
Fridays with Tab and Chance. Fridays with Tab and Chance.
Bring the beat back.
Okay. Fridays with Tab and Chance. All right, that's it.
We was not on one accord at that end.
Hey, listen.
It was with Tim.
No,
We was all still going.
no.
It was. I believe it was you.
I see what you did.
I believe it was
I got it.
Oh,
you. I had to-
No, I don't need you. Look,
I was here.
you was feeling it?
it's always one dude. Always one person.
I like the remix.
He hit the
I know I had it
I
though.
had the boom, boom, boom.
I don't
There was a
know.
little delay in your.
Yours didn't have no
had the
bass in
boom.
it.
But
It's
man, you
supposed to
know-
be,
But you didn't have the boom.
and you went all flat
No,
with your fingertips.
Wait a minute. What'd he do, babe? Oh, okay. That's what I thought you had bumped. I thought that's what you had bumped.
That's why you gotta leave that up to me. I got this, man.
I appreciate it. It took chances many months.
That's what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gonna do that?
Before he got on one accord. Because the people used to be liking the bump,
Yeah.
and Chance would be looking at me like, it ain't really all that. But now you like the bump. But first time he was in on the bump.
Thank you.
I
Thank you.
wasn't gonna say. Okay, so I was gonna try to be.
Thank you, Tabitha.
I was gonna try to. I was gonna.
Okay.
Somebody was flat.
Let's stay focused. Oh, welcome to Fridays with Tab and Chance. Honey, today we are so excited. As you can tell, these are our family and our friends, right? And so we're so excited to have them. I know a couple months ago we told y'all we wanted to start having couples on. Of course, we had Carlos and Katara, who are also our family and our friends. And a lot of y'all was like, Tab, we want to see celebrity couples. We want to see real couples too. I'm like, well, they all are real couples, but it don't really get no realer than these two right here too. So today, first I want them to kind of like, just introduce themselves as like how long they've been married, like all that, maybe how y'all met and things. But today's topic is going to be life changes and how that affects your marriage or relationship, okay? So let's go on and get into it. Y'all just go ahead and tell the people like, how long y'all been married and all that good stuff.
We have been married for 21 years.
Our marriage can drink. Hey.
Our marriage is an adult now, and we are the parents of 3 amazing boys. We're military parents. We have a 20-year-old in the military and 2 young ones at home. And how did we meet?
How we met.
Here we go.
Okay.
I was working.
Where was you? Can you say where he was working
You
at?
say whatever.
I was working at Mickey D's.
Okay, all right.
Oh, you flipping burgers?
I was flipping burgers.
Yeah.
I was at the drive-through window.
Uh-huh.
And so a young lady came in early in the morning.
Uh-huh.
And
Through the drive-through.
No, she
No,
came
I
in
walked
through the
in.
front.
Okay.
But this is back like late 90s, early 2000s?
2000.
Early 2000s.
It was
early 2000s.
October 16th in the year of our Lord 2000.
See, it was then. And so she came in, she had just did a hair show.
Yes, I did.
So she had the bright fire engine red hair. Back
I had the pump it ups.
the pump it ups with the
And a
waterfall. So
wrap.
she came in like, like cockatoo, you know what I mean?
it like-
Right there, right. And she had on like a deep V. Like it was like, that thing was down. So,
And did.
Like the Golden Arch, but it had went on in. Okay, got
so
it.
look, so I'm looking at her through the drive-through. So I'm like, hey, so I'm looking like, yeah. Like,
You was that dude.
I was that dude, right?
I know you. He was that dude.
Drive-through all backed up because I'm peeping shorty out. Dude, she looked at me like,
Sure did.
bruh, if you don't get back to your
Not shade.
and let me get my #1 McMuffin and get on with my life,
And did.
So she walked out. Didn't even get a chance to talk to her. What she didn't know was that I was working 2 jobs at the time. I had 2 jobs, chick, you know what I mean? Your boy had 2 jobs. So I get to my next job, and when I turn the corner on lunch, guess who's standing in the hallway?
Hey, hold up. What was the second job?
So the second job, I was working at the LA Times. So back when people was buying newspaper, I was selling newspaper. Like, hello, this is Louis, you know, with the Times. Like, would you like to? Yeah, so.
You was working there too?
It was
It
her
was
first
my
day.
very first day.
It was her first day on the job.
Shut up.
And the only person she knew was like my homegirl, right? And so I come in the hallway and I'm like, oh, that's the same girl. And I don't even know if she realized I was the same dude.
It happened the same day?
Same day, like on my second shift. So the first shift was Mickey D's. I go to my second shift, and when I come out for lunch, she's standing there in the hallway. So immediately, like I tell my friend, like, hey, who your homegirl? And she like, oh, like she just got in from Milan and she transferred to Cal State Dominguez, blah, 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 blah. So I'm like, I'm taking both of y'all out to lunch. I take them out to lunch.
Hey, Mickey D was paying good, wasn't
2 jobs was paying good. 2 jobs was paying good.
he? You took both of them?
Man. Took both of them, you know what I mean? Hey, desperate time call for desperate man.
Hey, you ain't get nothing. You didn't eat nothing, did you?
No. Hey, y'all get what y'all want. I ate already. It's cool. I was still hungry. I'm still full from. Yeah. So, and this is true. We laughed and joked that entire time near. Like we just caught a vibe right off the bat. I told my friend, like, I'm gonna marry your homegirl. That's what I said. Your homegirl dope. I'm gonna marry her.
And you married her. That's what's up.
I never knew that.
We met twice on the same
Same
day,
day.
early in the morning. And so, from my point of view, because you know where you situated depending on how to start. So I walk into McDonald's and I see this guy rubbernecking. I mean, he is stretching his, to look, and I'm
Deep V.
mind you, because at the time, McDonald's had the menu up. So I'm in there, I walk out, so I'm looking at him straight on, and I'm like, yeah, right, what I'm ordering, a number 1, can I get my number 1? And I leave, and I go to school. However, that day was going to be my first day at the LA Times. And my friend who had told me about the job, when I got there, I went into training, and lunchtime I came into the hallway because I didn't know anybody. And I saw my friend, and she was sitting next to this guy who I did not remember or recognize from that morning at the time. Wow. And he took us to lunch, and we had an amazing time, and we became friends. And that was October of 2000. Yeah. And then we continued to be friends. And then in February of the next year, we went to a coworker's wedding. We decided we would go to the wedding together. And from that moment, everybody was like, y'all a couple, y'all a couple. But that wedding weekend, he took me to a concert. Yeah. He bought us matching. We had not matching.
No,
but
they was matching. They was matching.
We was matching colors.
It was early 2000s.
We was matching colors.
Down. You understand what I'm saying?
And the concert was bomb. It was Erykah Badu.
Erykah Badu concert.
He took me to see Erykah Badu. Yeah. And we haven't been apart since. Yeah.
That is absolutely amazing. Now tell me this: when did you tell her I saw you earlier at McDonald's, or when did that connection happen?
I think it didn't happen till like later.
You didn't tell her at lunch?
Nah, I didn't tell. Nah, because I didn't want to be this weird, creepy dude. Like, hey, girl, I seen you. So you know what I mean? So you know, I don't think it came out till like much later. Like, hey, like until we was like.
I would have told her when she started feeling me though. Yeah, but you weren't feeling me at McDonald's though.
Yeah. But
that's my truth though. But see, my daddy always worked 2 jobs. Yeah. My daddy always worked 2 jobs. So when I found out that he worked 2 jobs, it hit different.
Yeah.
Cause I got a glimpse of my daddy.
Yeah, that's what I was waiting to get at there. I like, man, Lou, you had that work ethic.
Already.
On both sides. Like you already, listen, you was displaying the type of work ethic that I know I didn't have. And then it was a different kind of work ethic too. On the other side was like, no, I'm gonna pursue this woman.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pursue. I'm going after her. Like they a hot pursuit. Look, I'm going in. Yeah. Like to go that long.
Like my thing is like people ask me like, oh, how did, because we ended up within the year that we were officially dating, we got married within that year.
Oh wow.
Like it was like.
Oh, we got to come back. I got a question about that. Go ahead.
We started dating in like March, and then like I think I asked her to marry me in like late June, July.
In the same year?
Yeah.
So y'all met in October.
October, we were friends for an entire year. So
No. We met in October 2000. Come February, we went to the wedding. March, we became official. June, you asked me to marry you.
dang.
And we got married that following February.
Yeah, we got married
And
1 year.
1 year. But I didn't feel any issue with it because you wanted to move out. And I
Yeah.
told you I ain't moving with nobody because I had already lived with somebody
That's
before.
right, that's right.
And I said, this is what he told me, peep this, gang. I said, I ain't moving out with nobody unless I got the same last name as them.
Right.
And you said, well, if you had lived with me, I would have never let you move out.
Hey, that boy was caught.
Cold game. Cold game.
What he said. Okay. Hey, but he was right. Because when, here y'all
He
are.
showed up with a ring, got down on one knee in my daddy's living room. I was laying across the ottoman watching TV. It was just basic. But it was intimate, it was special, and I know that God built me for you. Because the woman was made for the man. That's what the word say. The wife was made for the husband.
Oh, look at that. Okay. So, with that being said, right, as we're talking about changes, you know, and if y'all have started with. Oh wait, did you get your question that you was going to ask before?
I'm sitting here saying, don't forget. Don't
do
forget.
you want to ask
wanna-
before we get
wanna-
into?
No, go ahead.
Okay. Because we're talking about changes, and you said a couple things. You know, you was working 2 jobs. It reminded you of your dad. And so over the years, how long did you work 2 jobs, or you still working 2 jobs, or what changes happen that you know also changed in the marriage? Because of course y'all been together 21 years. A whole lot happens.
I think so the funny thing is that, and Tab, you tied to the story, right? Because the funny thing is that, you know, I quit my job about, right before the pandemic. I quit my job. Came over.
The LA Times job? No, I'm just,
Not the LA Times job. Not the LA. So came over. I think we did like Very Good Wednesday.
Oh, I used to do Welcome. Guess who's
coming Wednesday, right? And so talked to Tab, and okay. Tab has been tabbing since Tab been tabbing. I know y'all just getting tabbed. Like, Tab the type of person, you'll be there just on like Taco Tuesday, thinking you getting guacamole, and Tab be like, brother, you okay? And you be like, yeah, Tab, I'm good. She'd be like, no. Are you okay? And you be like, actually, I'm not. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
That's been my whole life.
actually, I'm not. So y'all just find, like, we've been dealing with Tab being Tab, right? So Tab, we leave here. I got to drive down to 405, and Tab, I'll call Tab, and Tab is like, brother, I believe before you get home, like, your life is going to change. Like, got it just pouring into me. And I wanted to start my own business, and I was working for LA County at the time. I was miserable, working a good job with good benefits, and was miserable. And I wanted to leave. And you spoke that into my life, leaving and starting pursuing my own business. And so the change of that is, like Chance was saying, being that hard worker. I told my wife, you know those nights where you like lay up in bed and you talk, and it's such a hard and tough conversation. You know the conversations, and married couples get this, like, where you just laying up looking at the ceiling, but y'all talking to each other. Like, you're not even really looking at each other. You just laying up having that conversation. And I said, I want to quit my job. And my wife said, well, you know, we got mortgages and bills and this and that. And immediately I started to shrink. And then she said, well, do you think you can still cover if you quit? I said, I believe I can. And she said, it's going to be enough people to tell you no. She said, and when it's all over and done, I don't want to be the person responsible for killing your dream. That was the most freeing. And I went in later on that Monday and told them that it was going to be my last week. And actually, I shared it with somebody, and my supervisor told me, you can't do it. And I realized that was the no that she was talking about. That was on Monday. I told her that Friday is gonna be my last day. She told me, well, you know, at the county, if you don't put in your 2 weeks, you can't come back. I said, that's fine. I'm not coming back. But the boldness to say that was released in her.
Oh, wow.
And it was because, man, and I don't want to tear up and get emotional, but I would have just kept being miserable, because that's what husbands do. I would have just kept working and kept paying bills and kept being miserable. And sometimes when you're single, you have the freedom to believe in yourself. But when you married and you attached to somebody, it's like, how the hell am I convince somebody and I can't even convince the person I'm laying next to? And that released me, like her just being like, she didn't say that she agreed with me. Yeah. She just said, I'm not gonna be the one responsible for killing your dream. If that's your dream, I'm not going to, because there's going to be enough people to tell you no. And that released me, and I quit, and I was successful, and moved on and moved forward. And so that changed from just being like this hard worker for everybody else, for her to say, if it's your dream, I'm going to push you. And I'm, even if I want to push you, I'm not going to hold you back. And that just released and opened me. And I wonder, as we talking about this from a couple standpoint, like I wonder like how many husbands, how many wives want to do a great thing, but they not released to. Not because the world don't say so, just because simply the person laying next to them don't say you can. And how freeing it was for her to just be like, I'm not gonna hold you back.
And to your point, not even because the person next to you doesn't release you, because you're not bold enough to say it, right? Because that's the thing. What you did was bold. Yeah. What you did was bold, right? But it took a lot to even get there.
Oh, scared.
Right? Even how you set it up, we weren't even looking at each other. Yeah. We were looking at the ceiling. It's dark. Lights is out. I think this is the moment I can say something. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And even for your response is a bold response. Most people, I've been blessed to know we've been in that situation. Our entire relationship, I've been pursuing a dream. So your response has always been Chance's response. He ain't gonna hold me back. He ain't gonna tell me no, because he don't wanna be the person who told me no or try to stop my dream. That didn't mean he necessarily believed in it.
That's exactly what I was waiting. What I heard from you and what I was happy to hear is that you didn't need to hear that she believed in you. What you keep putting an emphasis on is that, or what was freeing is that she acknowledged what you needed and what you wanted, right? Because I think sometimes in relationships, or, well, yeah, just in you sometimes get caught up in, I need you to believe in me in order for me to do it.
That's it.
And that's not true. And that's too much to ask of your partner, to believe in you. There's only a few, if I'm with you and I need to believe in you that you're gonna make it in whatever, if you're gonna make it in the music industry, I'm with you for the wrong reason. I'm believing in you for something that don't pertain to marriage.
Right.
You feel me? Like, no, I'm with you because of the human that you are and that you have a belief system in yourself, right? A lot of times I get that question from people who like, you didn't believe it, did you? And now, because I've explained it so many times, I think they kind of getting it. But in the beginning, it was like, see, you should have believed in her, right? And I'm like, no.
Wow.
No. You know, I mean, it's just older people who
Got it.
I think are just confused about the dynamic of me and Tab. No, I wouldn't with her for that. I wouldn't. That wasn't the thing that was attractive to me. The thing that was attractive to me is that she believed so much. That's attractive. Like, yo, you really, you gonna really do this? Like, and then that thing living in me, where it's like, I'm attracted to it, and I want to be around it, but I'm terrified to do what you're doing. But hey, I know how to be a good soldier though.
That's what's up.
I know how to keep these people away from you. I know how to, you know what I mean? That's attractive to me. So when I'm listening to you, that's what I love to hear. But I gotta ask this question. And Shawna, his pursuit, right? As I complimented him on his pursuit and the 2 jobs and the things, would you say that his pursuit in you, after getting you, all right, convincing you, did it stay the same over 21 years?
Over 21 years,
In terms of, and because this is a very popular topic and this has been very ongoing with me and Tab over the last couple of months in the dating process. In the dating process, the pursuit of you, initiating sex, you know, that kind of thing. Have you seen his pursuit and how he started out waver over the 21 years?
yes and no. And I don't think anybody is on 100% all the time. We all waver in some capacity. What I will say is he got a drive that I admire. My husband's work ethic is unmatched. And my husband will get it out the mud. I don't worry about nothing. I know that if he say he got it, if he ain't got it, he gonna get it. And that is what I love about him, because it gives me safety and security. So when we talk about has it wavered, let me be very transparent. There have been times, seasons in my life where I was wrestling with my own issues. I've wrestled with depression. I've wrestled with anxiety. I've wrestled with mental illness. So when you talk about somebody pursuing you, have they wavered? My perspective might be off depending on what season I was in.
Come on.
So he might have been, wait a minute.
Hold on.
You gotta let,
Hey,
I gotta let it marinate?
Yeah.
That's heavy.
Yeah.
because you're not in the marriage by yourself.
That's
Right,
Okay.
right.
All right.
So the season that you in
See?
might change his season and vice versa. And you may not even be able to receive the good season he trying to give you, because your season not that well right now.
Right.
So you don't even know
That's called ownership.
Right.
Yes.
I'm taking ownership. That's good. Because I can't give a full assessment because I've wavered in my ability to receive or perceive what was being offered to me. And so I answer that question with, I don't know. But I do know we here.
Yes.
And I'm healthy and he's healthy. And our love today is strong, is sweet. Our friendship means so much. Oh, I don't want to tear up. Our friendship means so much to me. Heaven forbid something happened to my husband. The inside jokes and the moments and all that we have, I just couldn't imagine having to build that up and establish that with somebody else. So I pray to God keep him healthy and keep him around a long, long time. But I'm just so grateful that through all the changes and through all the seasons, because we're talking about changes in life, changes in marriage, that God kept us, because a lot of people don't make it. We got married on a weekend with 2 other couples. It was 3 couples in our circle that got married around the same weekend. I think one got, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We got married on a Sunday. The other 2 couples, loved them dearly. Their marriages ended for whatever reasons. And so when I look back on how we met twice on the same day, I see God. When I look back on how we've been kept through some of the darkest, most painful seasons of our lives, I see God. And when I look at where we are today, a lot of people didn't think we was gonna make it. I know a lot of people thought y'all wasn't gonna make it. Right. A lot of folks didn't think we was gonna make it.
That was the question. I've been over here. Yeah. Remember the question. Remember the question.
Yeah.
Remember the question. So y'all got married within the same year.
Yeah.
Okay. You've already answered part of the question, so I was going to ask you, how, can you recall anybody saying that it wouldn't work?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But the other part of that question is, when you named your kids and everything, then me and Tab we always laugh about this. Even with all that, right, what you just said, which is beautiful, you find ways to see God, and you thankful for your moment, wouldn't change anything in your marriage for the world. Would you advise anybody else to do it like you? Would you advise So I already know the answer. I already know the answer because
advise
would you advise anybody else how you met, how y'all got married in the first year at such a young age? Would you advise?
How old were y'all when
Would
y'all
you
got
advise your baby boy?
21.
Y'all
Would
were
you advise your baby boy? And so I asked this because we've had these times. I like for people to hear it and understand, you know, the details, because we've laid out a lot of beautiful details, but in those details, it's a lot of intricate and moving pieces.
Yeah.
We're talking about seasons and things, and there's a learning process that happens over there. And then when you have kids, so would you?
Yes. Yes, I would. And it's funny that you asked that because we're having that conversation right now.
Yeah.
Our oldest is dating,
Yeah. Seriously dating.
seriously dating. He in love, they in love, and we love that for them. I want my son to be happy. Yes. I want my son to be happy. I also want my son to follow God's plan for his life. So what I believe as a parent, as a mom, I believe these two words, if you connect it to me, you're gonna hear these two words: love and support. I'm gonna love you and I'm gonna support you. I'm gonna give you my perspective on it. However, at the end of it, whatever you choose, I'm gonna love you and I'm gonna support you. Do I want him and his girlfriend, if they considering moving in together? I feel the same way. I want y'all to have the same last name if y'all gonna live together. However, if you choose not to, I'm gonna still love you and I'm gonna still support you. I've already put my perspective out there. But when you got grown folks, your kids is grown, you have to allow them to make their decisions. My parents let me make my decisions, and however it went, that was on me. That's my life. They made their decisions. So I think as a parent, I need to give my son permission, our sons permission to make their own decisions and live with whatever the consequences may be. I'm gonna give you my perspective and I'm gonna give it to you, but what you gonna do with it? But at the end of the day, you're gonna always have my love and you're gonna always have my support. That's how I approach it.
So you saying if I'm talking about advising, not permission, or you get what I mean, support. I'm talking about
knowing what you all went through at 19
and not to say not
21.
I'm saying
Is that what you're saying? That
I'm saying like, hey mom, because this is what I heard from you. If I'm your son and I come to you and I say, hey mom, what do you think about me getting married right now? You're gonna say, well, what do you want to do? Right? See, that's different, right? I'm in agreement with that. And if you said, well, I want to, why? Typical parent, tell me why. If he said, in other words, or if Choice came and Choice said, Dad, I want to do it just like you and Mom, what do you think? That's why I'm like, wait a minute. Now, I'm not saying, I'm not coming out and being like, hey, I want you to do it just like me and your mom. Right. Because what I know about me and your mom, all those details, you don't know. So, and to prevent you, right, these are some things that I want you to consider. And I want you to, you see what I mean?
Yeah.
These are the things because I don't want you to think, right? I don't want you to think that the outcome, don't just look at the outcome, the current situation, and not think about everything in between. I'm oftentimes, now it's hard for me to go to a certain place that I used to go to very often before all of this. Like I would wonder, because I love Tab so much, what I prevented her from having. Because I love her. Like there will be times where, you have this selfish time in an argument, like, man, I gave up all this for you. But then it was a time, it was something that happened in our relationship where I felt like I had failed her. And God kind of sat me down for a moment and it was like, yo, man, have you ever considered what she missed? The opportunities that she had, the things, right? So because of that, I'm always like, man, I don't know if I want Choice to, you get what I mean? But if she came to me like you, because I know that it's important to have your, independent thinking and be able to freedom of choice and those kind of things, and it's the reason why we named her Choice. Right? I would be just like you and be like, well, I'm not going to advise you to try to take the path that me and your mom took, because that being one of them, if you truly love somebody, right, you got to consider them. And then just some of the things that in selfishness that I want you to partake in on your own, some of the things that lead to you hurting somebody else, right? And I don't want you to have to live with that. Some of the things that when you get married young, that people won't admit, right? Or they don't know how to admit it out of fear of offending their partner, that, man, I feel like I got robbed or something, right? And I don't want you to have to. I don't want you to have to live with that. Now, some people. And
we voice that.
And so when I'm asking that question, that's how I'm as a parent. We have a responsibility to parent, right? And sometimes I don't think that we can separate advice, because advice can sometimes come across to kids as it's like this is mandated. Hey, look, this is what you should do. We don't parent like that, right? It's kind of like, hey, why you want to do that, Joe? Right. Like, hey, and then I tap in and say, well, did you consider, like, hey, look, I know what me and mommy look like. Right? I know what it look like. Now, and I'm just using Choice as an example, because Choice already advised us she don't want to be nothing like us.
And honey, that girl is her name, okay?
Choice don't want to be nothing like us, to the point where I be getting offended sometimes. Like, man, what I do to you? Right. It's my daughter, so I'm referencing her. Leah would probably be a better example, because Leah talks about, being married and things of that nature. But being married at a young age is what I'm always talking about, and then kind of sacrificing some of your freedoms and liberties at a young age, even though the outcome now in your 40s, right? It seemed like it went by like that.
It did.
Now.
It did.
But think about 30 though.
But check this out.
You like, God.
We have a group of friends, really, really close friends, that I went to high school with, and we've all got married about the same time. We've all raised our kids together. And so all of our kids in that circle are used to 20+ year marriages. That's the norm for them.
So they've got to see it, and that's culture.
Every stage of it, though.
But I will say that there is I don't want to say a downside to that, but the other side of that coin, our son's girlfriend, she's a product of a 20-year plus marriage too, right? And so what happens is, and I'm very vocal with my son about this, is that
you do an outstanding job. Some of the conversations that you share with me with your son, I'm taking and giving it to Quest, like, for real.
I appreciate that. I'm very vocal about you seeing the end result. You didn't see what it takes to get here. And you don't understand the process, like to see the end result or to understand the full process of it, right? And so to go head on into Chance's question, would I advise my kids to do what I did? If you love a woman and you want to support that woman, you marry that woman, I advise that. Should you love her from a broken place? Absolutely not.
That's good, Daddy.
Should you, I tell my son all the time, son, get mental help. Go see a therapist. Figure it out in your 20s. If I would have figured out in my 20s what I figured out in my 30s to my 40s, I would have been a better person. Don't wait to figure that out. But don't love your wife. If you're gonna marry this woman, I advise that, because that's what me and your mama did. What I wouldn't advise, what I did, is don't love your mother from a broken place. Don't think that overcoming struggle is all that you're good for as a man. Because, and me and Chance talk about this hard working, I gotta go get it. I don't have time to, me and Chance laugh about how he was in the cop car, like, you know what I mean? And I'm tired, like, you know what I mean? I don't have time to think about it. We joke about our wives when y'all not around.
Joke about it?
Yeah, joke. Yeah, we joke.
Tax fan.
Yeah.
This is real talk. Men know they be talking, and women we be talking too.
Lou, it's gonna be
that's
some.
healthy.
Hey, boy, it's gonna be some middle-aged women in your
listen.
DMs like.
Hey, listen. While Chance is joking, that's healthy.
Yeah, it is.
You
You
need that.
With safe friends.
Yeah, with like-minded friends.
Like-minded friends.
Yeah,
Deal with
like-minded
it.
friends.
There's some caveats to it.
Okay.
All right.
Go ahead.
We joke about, you know, this is, babe, you tired? Babe, you. I don't got time to think, because if I stop and think about how tired I am, I'm gonna be tired. I don't have time. I have to go out and get it. Telling my son, like, that doesn't have to be you. Mm-hmm. You can say, heck yeah, I'm tired. Yeah. I'm tired as heck. But I'm doing it. But that doesn't, being a provider doesn't have to be the end of you as a husband.
That's good.
That's right.
Being a protector doesn't have to be the end. You know, me and my wife was laughing, and we was talking about her planning date nights, which is kind of like a newer thing in our marriage. Is like, because I'm always doing the date nights. I'm like,
Oh my God.
take me out.
Set me back.
You know what I mean? Nah, I'm like, look,
Have I been doing good?
you been doing good. High five.
I've been
Hey,
doing good.
I said I want my wife to call me up in the middle of the day, like, hey, little daddy, you know what I mean? Go put on your little outfit tonight. I'm about to slide you through the town. I'm gonna hang up the phone, like, why you smiling? Like, hey, I got a date, you know what I mean? I'm gonna take me out, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, men want to feel that as much as we are providers, as much as we're protectors, like, and the other side of that, we don't want as much as we love what happens in the bedroom as men, we don't want all of our attaboys to happen in the bedroom. Can you appreciate and show me tokens of love and gratification outside of the bedroom? All of that shouldn't come from just now, don't stop the bedroom stuff.
Hey, bro.
Don't stop the bedroom stuff. I'm not saying substitute.
Don't do it.
I'm not saying substitute, but in addition to,
That's good.
in addition to that, buy me a shirt. Baby, hey, I was thinking about you. We like that. Chance like it too. Yeah.
And that's vice versa. There's one thing that you've said a couple of times that I want to make that's clear for me. As you said, provider, you know, men are not just that. And so it's important for people to, I think, realize that you're not in a providership. You're in a partnership.
That's good.
Right? This is a partnership.
Yeah, it is.
So one shouldn't be doing all the providing. We should be providing for each other, right? We in partnership. So when you ain't got it, she should have it. Absolutely. And when she ain't got it, he should have it. That is mentally, spiritually, physically, financially. That's what partnership is, right? We have been give and take. Like, we've been that our entire life. Like, there was many years that he had to carry it in one way, and I had to carry it in another way, right? So that is just so important. And I know we've been talking about, like, our kids and stuff, and one of the things that I know that me and Chance always talk about when advising our kids, like, don't do it the way we did it, right? You find your way. Mm-hmm. The most important thing is what I realized later in life is I didn't know who I was when I got married.
Deal with it.
I didn't know who I was. You get married young, you don't know who you are yet. So how am I?
Can be.
Or who I can be.
And I think that's what Lou was saying.
Exactly.
I think that was
It is
Lou
what
was
it was
saying, is find out who you are first.
And so you giving that advice to your son is golden, right? Whether they take it or not, you've done your part.
That part.
But not knowing who you were in your relationship over the years, how did that change your relationship? What were those moments like when you maybe realized that you didn't know yourself or you were trying to figure it out? I know you talked about, like, your own struggles with that. Like, what was something when you realized, like, wait, maybe you got to know yourself and realized, I don't really like this part of me because I know I've been through that and wanted to change that. Take me through that and how that may have changed.
Well, I touched on it a little bit earlier, talking about the depression and anxiety, and I recognized being, nearly 100 pounds heavier wasn't just physically. I was carrying a lot of emotional weight. I was carrying a lot of mental weight. And when I began to lose physical weight, I became lighter in other areas. And so I began to see myself differently. And then I began to do things differently. I began taking up hobbies and different things like that. And I started figuring out I like being outside. I like being outdoors. I like being active. I like double dutching and roller skating, some of the stuff that I do. And it was a big adjustment for the family because they wasn't used to me really going anywhere or doing anything. And so we all had to make an adjustment when I came into who I am now. And over the years, that has changed. But I'm really, really grateful that my husband has rocked with me, good or bad, better or worse. He's rocked with me and we've been able to figure it out. But it has not always been easy. And I think that goes back to, you know, what you were asking, the risk in getting married earlier. I think you summed it up. That's the risk, not really knowing yourself. You know, but when somebody say they in love, because you know what it feel like to be in love with somebody.
No.
So it's like that.
You're not going to.
Baby, you don't really know yourself yet. I don't think you know yourself well enough yet, but you in love. Who am I to shut your love down? You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of the challenge as a parent. But
when we got together, like, I was a boy. Like I couldn't, you know, the funny thing is that, you know, Shawna, you know, when she had girl night out, she'd be in the club. Like, you know what I mean? And I couldn't get in the club. I wasn't even old enough to get in the club. So we wasn't even.
You were older.
She older, yeah. So I wasn't even old enough to like get into the same space that my wife was having fun in. Like, you know what I mean? I was 19. And so the progression of that. So I remember I already had 2 jobs, so I knew how to work. So what I did was just double down on being a provider, right? And that was just my thing. Shawna had dated, she had lived with somebody before. She had more real life experience. I was coming straight from my grandparents' house, you know what I mean? And when we got together, like I moved from my grandparents' house and moved in with my wife. Like from there to my wife. So understanding and developing as a man. So at first I was just providing. I'd give him a check and she was paying bills. She was doing, because I had no experience in doing that. She was doing all of this stuff as a grown woman. And I was just the provider. And as long as I didn't, but when I started maturing into a man, I started looking like, hey, like what's giving direction, giving leadership. Well, the change was, it worked both ways. As I changed to maybe grab more control or leadership role, we have somebody that's already set the details of leadership up as she sees fit. So now there's a struggle, like, and I'm like, no, I got it. Well, what's wrong with the way I've been doing it? You know what I mean? Like, this ain't good enough no more? Like, this a problem? The way we been doing it, I ain't letting no, she gonna laugh, because the lights ain't turned off yet. Like, so what's the, you know what I mean? Like, you fed, like the kids, like, so what's the, why should I put this money here when, you know what I mean? And so on and so forth. And so that was a change in progressing and in the transition of our marriage that is tough, because some people don't survive that. It just ends in a power struggle to where people be like, man, I ain't doing this with you. So that's another thing that when it comes to her weight loss, you know, man.
Well, first of all, can we just acknowledge the fact that she slid it in there? She slid it in there. She was like 100 pounds heavier and continued the conversation. Sis, how much have you lost in total?
How much have I gained?
I flipped this whole table over. I flipped this table over. Come on. Listen, that's the word.
That's the word, sis. I've lost over 100 pounds, but what I've gained, you can't even measure. Oh, God.
Come on.
The joy unspeakable. I just really want to be free. That being overweight had me bound in a lot of different ways. And burying my dad, that was it. I couldn't take it no more. I'll never forget, we was at a workout. All of us was working out. And I had started my journey.
Yes.
And you looked at me and you was trying to be as compassionate as possible. You said, we had finished it. You said, because it was a group of us, you said, sis, You was, I remember. You was trying to get your.
I remember, yeah.
You said
He didn't even know. He was like,
he didn't know.
wait a minute.
Sean, and you was trying your way to tip around it, because I think I had dropped about 40 pounds then, and you was
It
like,
was during the pandemic too,
The
so we hadn't
pandemic,
seen
yeah.
each other in person.
Yeah. Hey, look, I was concerned.
yes, you was.
I was concerned. You gotta run me down. Like, yo,
What's
man.
happening over there to Sid?
Everything good, Lou?
The thing about it is, what we didn't realize until she
went
started
into
to
it
lose the weight, we didn't see the weight.
Yeah.
We,
Hey.
when you love somebody and you like, first of all, always been fine.
Gang, gang.
Always had
And-
knew she was fine.
Thank you,
Okay.
sister.
And
Joy was
yeah,
always there.
that was, and she was focused.
She was.
I think I was concerned because I got comfortable with who she was. Right, I got comfortable with and had an expectation.
Yeah.
Right, my expectation of Shawna was, hey, I know I can clown. This my and
cuts up.
she was in a different mind frame.
Yeah.
And I'm throwing my jokes, and she ain't knocking them out the park. You know what I mean? And I'm like,
She had a different focus.
I'm like, let me toss another one. Maybe that one was too fast. I'm gonna put a slow one on. And she's like, yeah, bro, getting into the workout. I'm like,
Yeah. Even when we got
Like,
the car,
what's
he was
going
like,
on?
"You think Shawna all right?"
like,
I said, yeah, she on a new journey.
Yeah,
Right, man,
yeah,
like-
this was in the zone.
yeah. Then I figured it out. You know what I mean? I like, hey, but I remember that.
I was tickled that day because you tried your best to find a way to ask me.
Yeah.
But that journey has helped me because again, I lost a lot of heaviness in a lot of different areas, and it lightened me up, and it helped me. My joy became even more profound. My ability to see and perceive, and when you're connected to dreamers, you know, when you could out of the two couples, y'all the dreamers.
Absolutely.
We the anchors.
I was gonna
Okay? Y'all the dreamers. We the anchors, and we need that balance. I felt comfortable leaning in. So we done had a conversation, you looking at the ceiling and me saying I ain't gonna hold you back. I fooled around and told myself, well, self, I'm not gonna hold you back either.
Yeah.
You know, and so the freedom that I saw Tab walking in, the freedom that I saw Chance walking in, the freedom I saw my husband walking in, I began to walk in new areas of my life. And so it's opened up a lot of opportunities. My role at work has changed for the better. My role in other areas, a lot of relationships around me have changed for the better. Some have ended, some have began. Ain't nobody mad at nobody about nothing. I'm not bitter. I used to be bitter about things. I used to be angry about things. I found that I was able to release a lot of that. And that has been so helpful, not just for me personally, but for the people connected to me. I get everywhere I go, people talk about my energy. You got this energy. You got this energy. And I'm just like, wow, you know, wow. Yeah. Wow. And I just want to encourage people, like, if you want to change, you can change.
While being in your relationship.
While being in your relationship, you ain't got a same man.
Yes.
Same man. I love my husband.
The more things change, the more things.
Listen,
Yes,
and as the body changed,
Okay.
other things change.
Just because I know we got to get ready to close it up soon, but in that change,
Yeah.
right? How did it? Do you feel that after that shedding,
Yeah,
did it make you a better wife?
I think so. But my perception is my perception. Did it make me a better wife, sweetheart?
Yes, and the reason is because, you know, sometimes you don't realize how weight weighs you down. Like, and so the more physical weight she lost, the more mental weight she lost. And it freed her up to, you know, go shopping. Like things that, I mean, women love to shop, but when you have to shop from, oh, let's get you this. Oh, well, do I got a girdle that can hold that together?
So you wasn't in limitation.
Yeah, limitation. You doing. So even if you try to be loving, it's a love with a limit. Right? Because like I want to buy you this bra. Well, I don't think I got the right bra. Then I'm gonna get another bra, and then blah blah blah, and then, you know what I mean, and so on and so forth. So being able to just go shopping without limits, which is my love, like you know what I mean, like being able to do that, and then so she's able to receive now. Like if I say, hey, I bought you this dress, it's like thank you, versus I don't know, is it stretchy enough? Will it fit? You know what I mean? And now I feel rejected
Yeah.
because she not receiving what I bought in love.
About her. Yes.
Wow.
Because she's trapped in this mindset of, will it work in my weight? And so for her to be friend, just stuff like that, like exercise and, you know,
Which y'all be doing together.
together, yeah.
Because you've lost weight. First of all, when if y'all remember,
I can't work out with Shawna. I watch her videos.
right?
I'm like,
I
man.
ain't doing this much. What y'all
I
doing?
like this much.
But when I used to
can't
do
fool with her.
the Guest Who's Coming to Wednesdays, right before the pandemic is what he had talked about, like, Lewie came on and introduced me to like even better juicing, right? Because you had lost weight previously and had did this whole thing and then did it again. And so in that journey for you, right, like with your own changes, like this is the thing that I think is very important. When you were on your weight loss journey, she was not.
No, right.
But they were, and so how did that affect the relationship? Because y'all weren't working out together then.
Yeah, we were doing the whole teeter-totter thing. And then when she started to lose, like, I had gained a lot of weight back. And so now it was like she booming and I'm heavier. Like, and now I'm feeling like I did all that work just to be right back here, you know what I mean, so on and so forth. But what clicked and what I wanted, I didn't want to be like her in weight. I wanted her to be like her in her joy and mindset.
You wanted the joy in the mind.
The joy. I was like, I want that. Like, I want to get free. Like, I want to mentally just have joy. And she didn't think about things that weighed her down. Like, you know, and so seeing that, and then that she was like, if you, like, y'all know, Shawna don't play. Shawna is like she not gonna mess up. Like, so everything in the house was regimented for being the best version of you. Like, it was the right food.
She set herself up for success.
And so for me to follow behind her, it was just like, okay, just looking at her path and kind of getting in that in my own lane. You know, same freeway but a different lane.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And so when I saw that and tried to, it really made the difference. And it made the difference in our relationship, our marriage overall, because we both now were mentally free. We weren't operating in bitterness. We weren't operating in being overwhelmed with things that we can't move. If you've been heavy your whole life, it seemed like it ain't gonna never happen.
Right.
Like, you'll never get over this hump. So to get over a hump that was 30 plus years, 40 plus years, well, heck, if I can do this, what can we not do? What can we not believe? What can we not agree to? If we both can agree that we've moved past what has been the two biggest obstacles of our life, everything else is easy. These tough conversations that need to be had, that's easy. Letting you be your own free self, that's easy. Not being secure because I'm secure within myself, that's easy. So it's so many relationship aspects became very easy that was hard before, but it was only hard because we were operating in being overwhelmed. We were operating in being underfulfilled with ourselves. And so we just kind of overflowed and projected that on our spouse when the real issue was
Self.
self.
You got to work on yourself.
Which comes back to what we were talking about in the beginning with your question of, would you advise it, you know, to others who ask, especially when you're young, whether you're young or old. You're never too young or old to get to know yourself, right? And it's also okay that we can be 30, 40 and not know who we are, but we're willing to get to know self and unpack all the things, the layers, the weight, all the mental heaviness that we need to survive, not only in a relationship, but on your personal journey, right? So I think this has been amazing, and many people will be blessed by y'all's story and by what y'all have given today and shared with us today. I'm just so grateful. I love y'all. I'm so proud of both of y'all.
Proud of you too.
Yeah,
Both of
absolutely.
y'all.
Thank you. Anything else, babe, before we? I know we got to wrap it up, but we could be in here forever. We're gonna have to have them back. Yes, look, like we in church. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Amen. Amen.
Okay. You ain't got nothing else, baby?
Nope.
Y'all want to say anything else? Anything to anybody out there, any couples, or any advice that you would give just from your standpoint in your marriage of, what has been? I guess I'll say this. What has been the one thing you've learned about yourself in your marriage through all the changes that you've been through in the last 21 years? What's your takeaway for today?
The best version of me is in her. And I will never lose that. I always want to be. I realize that the best version of me is absolutely attached to her, which lets me know that detached from her, I wouldn't be the greatest version of me. And so I'm always striving. In my my work ethic is always driven to be great. And how can I be great without the best version of me? That's in her.
That's beautiful.
Hey,
And
do what I
thank
can.
you.
Yeah.
Grace. We are all a case for grace. And we should be giving grace. We should be requesting grace. And I pray that people are connected to people that will extend them grace. That has been like the thread that I believe that has really strengthened and kept us is grace. Love still covers a multitude of sins, right? Love, hope, faith, grace. They have been the secret sauce. Yeah. So yeah, keep hanging there, y'all. It get tough, hang in there.
Hang in
Right.
there.
It's worth it.
It is.
You will make it. You can make it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Very good.
Thank you for having
And listen, if y'all need some motivation, they on their socials, they're gonna be tagged. Okay, in this video, get that workout on. I don't know if you can hang. Because, honey, listen, every morning I be like, let me see what Shawna did today. Okay, I can do this part.
Bring the beat in.
Oh wait, she did it multiple times. Okay. But y'all make sure y'all follow them, support them, show love to them. And until the next time, honey, y'all gonna about y'all business and have the most amazing day. But even if you can't have a good one, don't you dare go messing up nobody else's here. We love y'all. God bless y'all. See you next time. And Blackie said bye.
Peace.
Thank y'all for watching. And don't forget to click here for more episodes.
And don't forget to subscribe to the channel.
Very good.